issue, but I'd like to drill down a little bit more into this upcoming referendum that's scheduled for March 12th. I'm going to reinforce some points from there, and I'm also going to expand and get into a little bit more depth on some other points. Again, this is for full-day kindergarten program. And as was said before, only about 10% of the entire districts in this state, and there's close to 600 of them, only 10% do not currently have full-day kindergarten. We're very much in the minority. The standards for kindergarten are actually much easier met if you have more than twice the time in order to do that. So it is more difficult for us to meet those New Jersey state learning standards in a half-day program versus a full-day program. What's very important is that our state aid calculation is based upon a per pupil expenditure, but a half-day kindergarten program is counted as half a student, not a full student. So if we have a full-day kindergarten, it actually assists us in dealing with the state aid reduction that was discussed briefly in the video that you saw. But it's not just for full-day kindergarten. It's also for our short-term and long-term financial stability as a district. I've been sharing with the board for close to 6 years now that we are on an unsustainable path, that with a tax cap of 2%, while costs continue to go above that 2% cap, costs that are outside of the board's control, it's unsustainable. We cannot continue to maintain our programs under this circumstance. But if this wasn't bad enough, we found out this summer that Hillsborough is going to be losing close to $5.3 million of state aid over the next 6 years. That's significant. That's not something that we can adjust or maintain. That would require significant reductions in services, programs, people, increasing fees, and also looking at courtesy busing as well. And this is very frustrating for us because we run a very efficient district. According to the State Comparative Spending Guide, Hillsborough Township Public Schools spend $657 less than the average district per pupil. That's for every single student. We spend less than we spend $657 less than the average district. Think what we could do for our children if we actually spent what the average district spends in the state of New Jersey. But even with this efficiency, we're viewed as being over-aided. So we have this referendum on March 12th to try to help us close these gaps and provide additional programs for our youngest learners. It's approximately $8 million. That $8 million levy increase, $3 million of it will fund full-day kindergarten, and $5 million will fund our financial stability. As a result of the tax increase, the 2019 tax would increase about $25 per month for the average home. And this is based upon a rateable in November. So as we get closer to the referendum, we'll have an updated rateable to see if that will change. Now, if it doesn't pass, in fact, I spent some time at our last board meeting yesterday discussing with the board that the range of staff reductions is approximately 50 positions in the district. That's what the board is beginning to contemplate. It will increase class sizes. We will have to consider increasing fees for technology, for things like co-curricular activity, pay to play, also building use fees. We will also need to consider looking at courtesy busing as well. And these reductions for state aid continue over the next 6 years. So if this isn't passed, we're going to be in the hole once again next year by $1 million, and then 4 or 5 years after that by significant funds. So that kind of gives you an overview of where this March 12th referendum is. And I would be happy to answer any questions from the township.